Your second stimulus check was at $600 initially, and legislators said, hey, we need to fix it and give you another $1,400. This was 2020, fall of 2020. They said, you know what, $600 is not enough, let's fix it and give you $1,400. But don't worry, next year we're going to give you another $2,000. They said when Joe comes in, you'll get $2,000. They said, we're running for those 2 Georgia Senate seats. Elect us, we'll give you a new $2,000 stimulus check in 2021. Now it's 2021, and suddenly no one's giving you that $2,000 stimulus check on top of the $1,400 stimulus check from last year. U.S. progressives in the House wrote a letter in the last 24 hours saying, wait a second, $600, $1,400, this is not enough. It's not even enough if you did deliver the $2,000 stimulus check. You need stimulus checks every month. In this recording, I go over the state of the pandemic as we see that the stimulus bill of the third stimulus package is getting to the finish line. It's getting to a vote. It's nearly becoming law. But are the deal provisions, especially the stimulus check, not as big as promised? This is an in-depth report on second stimulus, third stimulus, on Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Afternoons LA with a big report about what's going on with your third stimulus bill as it gets to a finality in the House of Representatives. Today, the House of Representatives subcommittees are finalizing the bill language, including the stimulus check amount. But is there movement to get that amount changed? And what will you promise and what are they delivering? Moreover, what are progressives asking for as well? If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do. This is the fastest growing channel there is out there because 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, this channel is reporting the latest details and the fastest details on all the issues and getting you a lot of money. Not 5 days from now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now. Whether it's a volunteer, you need help with rent or utilities in the pinned comment to this video, or being informed about how to pounce as a Purple Hawk for big money under third stimulus as soon as it goes live before anyone else, this channel has your back. Meantime, also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member in the pinned comment at the top of the chat and also in the description. Purple Hawk, Calcino VIP, or Purple Power. In this video, I go over what happened with that stimulus check. You were owed several stimulus checks in March, then you were owed multiple stimulus checks in the fall. And now suddenly we're left again with one stimulus check. And will it pass this time, or will you, the Purple Power, and or will the progressives suddenly change the discussion once again? With that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news is really, despite whatever happens in the next few days for the passage of the third stimulus package, all eyes and ears will be on the stimulus check of the third stimulus package. And the question is whether broadcast media will remember what happened to you in December like you remember and I remember. Broadcast media in the last 24 to 48 hours has not particularly been on focus for stimulus. They've been dealing with problems of Wall Street and traders and Robinhood and GameSpot. And so focusing on stimulus, not particularly front page news the last 24, 48 hours. So when it comes back into news next week, when the House calls it for a vote, yes, it's getting called for a vote, then will broadcast news get the stimulus check amount correct? This is where we are today. In March of 2020, under the first stimulus package, the final version of the bill said a stimulus check for March, April, and May. At the last minute, at the 11th hour, they took out April and May's check and said, you know what, we'll get to it later. We'll just give you a $1,200 stimulus check for March, but we'll take care of you in May. In May, Nancy Pelosi was back with the HEROES Act, which I cite a lot. It was the Democrats' big bill that has hazard pay, a lot of great stuff in there, But it only had one stimulus check again, $1,200. The bill was blocked by Mitch McConnell, so it never came to fruition. In the fall of 2020, the problem solvers introduced a proposal, not a bill, for 2 stimulus checks, one for $1,200 in November, another one around about now. So you would have gotten $2,400 in additional stimulus checks with your adult dependent, independent, non-dependent, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits. You would have gotten 2 stimulus checks. At the same time, the negotiations between Steve Mnuchin and Nancy Pelosi were going in opposite directions. Steve Mnuchin and the White House was going higher in stimulus check offers, up to $2,000, while Nancy Pelosi was reducing it, especially among children. She was going down to $500 for children and some adults, and only $1,000 during the negotiations. Finally, as we push for a continuing resolution, stimulus and CR, this channel made history by putting stimulus in a CR. But when they got a draft of the bill with Manchin and Romney, no stimulus check involved. We said, that's no bueno. No bueno, you need a stimulus check. Joe Manchin, who's actually a Democrat, said, we will get to your stimulus check next year. Ironically, now, this month, Joe Manchin's still not getting into your stimulus check. So we pushed and said, you need a bigger stimulus check. Ultimately, it was only $600. Donald Trump and others said, you need to go bigger. You need to go to $2,000. What is $600? I'm not going to sign this unless there's a bigger stimulus check. Ultimately, he signed it on the promise that they give you the remainder of the money to get you to $2,000 in the next few days. So without a wait, in less than 24 hours, AOC, who's a progressive in the House, a Democrat, and Nancy Pelosi wrote a revision to that law, the second stimulus law, to give you an additional $1,400 on top of your $600 stimulus check. This was in late December, right after Christmas. It was called the Cash Act. $1,400, fix it. A fix-it stimulus check to bring you to $2,000. $600 plus $1,400, $2,000. Plus a fix-it for adult dependents. Why a big fix-it for adult dependents? Because you had not gotten a first stimulus check, you had not gotten a second stimulus check, and they wanted to bring you up to the present. $1,200 you had not gotten as adult dependent, you had not gotten $600, so they wanted to give you those amounts to bring you up to the present, be consistent with the rest of the population, and that's why they proposed $3,200 for adult dependents, $1,400 for everyone else in the Cash Act of December 2020. Well, that was that, and the bill didn't get finished. The bill got finalized in the House, but then went to the Senate and didn't get finished. The promise, again, we'll take care of this next year, plus give you a new $2,000 stimulus check. Now, in December, we were dealing with the issue of whether the Senate was going to go Democrat or not. And 2 Senate candidates out of Georgia, Ossoff and Warnock, both said, elect us, and we will give you a new $2,000 stimulus check in 2021. Ironically, the Republican candidates promised the same. Ironically, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, and also Joe Biden all said, elect our candidates and they will give you a new $2,000 stimulus check in 2021. The two Democratic candidates won, and we thought we were good. In fact, we didn't need to know we were good. We were told we were good. Who? Chuck Schumer. He said, don't worry, this is January 2021. This month, the start of this month, Chuck Schumer said, the third stimulus package bill from Joe Biden will take care of you. You'll get the Cash Act from last year, $1,400, plus $2,000, plus a lot of other stuff. AOC said the same thing. And then came this. About 2 weeks ago, this channel obtained a summary of the third stimulus package bill. The summary, prepared by the Biden-Harris camp, describes what Biden's bill, which Biden wrote, has in it. Now, ultimately, a summary can change. We hope it does. But the summary, as detailed by Joe Biden, said, here's $1,400. We're not giving you $2,000 anymore. Wait a second. Here's $1,400, and it's a third stimulus check. Congratulations. That's not the third stimulus check. That's the fix-it check from last year. You're just calling it something new. It's the fix-it check from last year. Viewers of this channel stepped up and were not happy. Now understand, this channel has advocates as viewers. We don't bash anyone and we don't get angry at everyone, but we certainly advocate for things that are owed to us. And we certainly advocate for things that are promised to us. And one thing that was very clearly promised to us across the board was a fix-it check for last year and a new check for this year. And suddenly, there was no new check for this year. The third stimulus package bill, as it's now believed to sit in the House of Representatives, has no longer in there that $2,000 new stimulus check for 2021. All it has is a $1,400 stimulus check and a $3,200 stimulus check for adult dependents. If you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security or Railroad benefits, if you're adult dependent, you're getting $3,200. If you're anyone else, you're getting $1,400. No bueno. That was not what was promised. That was not what was promised, and it's actually not particularly fair. Moreover, it makes no economic sense. Early during this pandemic, in May of last year, the federal chairman spoke at a House subcommittee banking hearing. And Jerome Powell said, this country is not giving enough stimulus to its people. You need to spend at least 30% of your gross national product of your U.S. economy to be consistent with other countries. Countries are spending about 40% of our U.S. economy. We were spending 15% of our economy. And let's make sure very clear, the cash, the second stimulus package of last year was a down payment. It was a down payment for a bigger bill. We all thought that the third stimulus package bill was going to be $3, $4, $5 billion. It's 1.9. So why are we being so cheap on those stimulus checks? Well, progressives are not happy. Now, progressives have always advocated for bigger checks. Senator Harris, now VP Harris, is a progressive. She wrote a progressive bill. She co-authored it with Bernie Sanders, one of the biggest advocates of progressive democratic ideals, and also Ed Markey. She appeared on Chris Hayes in May of 2020, an MSNBC program, and said, you know what, $1,200 for 1 month does not even cut it, let alone a $1,200 stimulus check for 6 months. She was referring to Cash Act, the very first stimulus package. This is July. She said American families are hurting. They can't live on just $1,200 for 1 month, let alone 6 months. She said you have to have $2,000 a month. Every month until the pandemic ends, at least every month for a minimum of 6 months until 2 events occurred. 1, the pandemic's over, or 2, unemployment goes down. As we sit here now in late January, neither event has occurred. Unemployment has not gone down, and the pandemic is far from over. And ironically, the message she made very loud and clear on not just one broadcast, but countless broadcasts while she was running for president, is that $1,200 economically doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it. It doesn't pay for bills. And it certainly doesn't cut it for 6 months. So let's make it very clear what we're dealing with right now. The Biden-Harris, yes, Harris plan now is suggesting here's $1,400, see you at the end of the pandemic. How can that economically work now to say here's $1,400, it'll cover you from now to the end of the pandemic, whenever that is, when we were specifically told in July by the same person introducing that bill then that $1,200 doesn't cut it for 1 month, let alone 6 months. Now, what are progressives doing this time around? There has been a sort of a pull and tug when we talk about stimulus checks. And the viewers of this channel have fully understood that there's some people that say things when it comes to stimulus checks, and then other people that talk but don't walk. Bernie Sanders has been one of the few people that actually walks when he talks. But the U.S. progressives, in 2020, fall 2020, the U.S. progressives introduced their own bill talking about stimulus checks every month. Yesterday, the U.S. progressives wrote a letter to Sanders and Harris, who should actually know this quite hard, saying there should be multiple stimulus checks, a check every month until the pandemic's over in your stimulus package being worked upon now in the House. They didn't set the amount, but they said there should be a check every month. It's a great position. Viewers of this channel agree. You probably agree as well. But you and I certainly would agree upon something else. Talk, but not walk, has not worked. So you wrote a letter. Then what? Ultimately, viewers are tired of people writing letters, and that's all that ever happens. In fall 2020, the problem creators or problem solvers wrote memos after memos after memos, but never wrote a bill. And when it didn't happen, they didn't do it. They wrote about 2 stimulus checks, but never blocked anything unless there was a stimulus check in there. So now the viewers of this channel are stepping up. Whether the progressives step up, we don't know. But at least the viewers of this channel are stepping up. Hashtag FPC Retro. Hashtag MSC. Hashtag SS200. The third stimulus package has some great stuff in there, but some items are not included and other items are just simply not the right number, like the stimulus check. In this video, I hope I've explained to you in detail why the stimulus check was supposed to be more than $1,400 and why, as advocates, you should be on social media, take this video, share it, tag elected officials, say, give me the stimulus check as promised, because promises are supposed to be kept, not broken. Meantime, join me next on the continuation of Afternoons Late with third stimulus. I'll have the latest details about everything that's in the stimulus package. Stay informed, stay focused, make sure you subscribe, and stay LA for more.